Hello, welcome to another episode of A Ghost in the Magazine. I'm Steph,
I'm Sadie.
and we're covering Jigsaw. This is it. This is the last.
Yeah, we can't watch any more Saws right now. I'm
No,
sawed out. I'm
can't
tired.
do can't do anything. We're
As much
still
as I love this franchise, it does fucking take a lot out of you to rewatch so many of them
in a row, and you know
in a
what I
row.
just remembered? I need to talk to her about it. My sister Samantha,
Mhm,
she's been on this podcast before. We did the Scream episode together, but she's
mhm.
not a horror girl
Right.
at all. But I vividly remember us being teenagers and her watching a bunch of these in a marathon.
Well,
And
yeah, that was how I kind of did it too. And I wasn't a horror girly either. And then this is what kind of opened the door to me. But I don't know. It's just like it's fine when you watch like one or two here and there, but like when you've got to like sit through John Kramer and his apprentices bullshit for like 2, 3 weeks in a row, I'm just like I'm exhausted.
literally, so tired. It's so much.
Yeah, it's a lot going on, and especially in Jigsaw, like God, it's a flashback and a current events sort of thing at the same time. So there's a lot
Okay.
happening.
So that was new. I did kind of like that, but then like when the twist came, I remembered the first time I watched this, and I was
Yeah.
like, like,
But yeah, no, this is a good one. And for I think it's like for most Saw fans, because I'm in like a couple of fan things, like this is their least favorite one for some reason. But
it
I really, yeah, they really just didn't like it. They think it cheapened John and like a bunch of other stuff, but I
John
enjoy
cheapens himself. John
right, yeah, he's cheapened himself the entire franchise by just getting crazier, like and
right,
worse.
and doing the group thing, like we
Yeah,
just talked about in Saw
yeah.
5.
So he was back to doing groups, which is crazy. But here we are.
Here we
And
are.
the idea here is that this is a recreation of a trap that already happened
Mm-hmm.
a long time ago. But it starts with Edgar Munson, who's that random like dude that the cops are trying to get to like they're chasing him all over the city, asking him what's going on. He's got the button. His only task is to start the trap, whether he lives or dies. So he does manage to do that. And that's part of the flashback. And so you've got the five people, and that's how it kind of starts with the buckets on their head. And the trap is the motors start running and it starts pulling them towards the razor wall, basically. So they will be sliced to literal pieces.
The razor wall, like this man and the circular saws in
Mhm.
pisses me off. Get
Right.
over it.
I can't remember what the murderer's trial is, but we can talk about the razor wall. And so the idea of the razor wall is really just that they need to slice themselves a little bit so that the buckets will come off their head and their door will open. But one of the guys, you could tell he didn't wake up from the drugs. But once
Yeah.
he kind of figures out what's happening, all of them manage to get through, but not him. Which is
Right. And you don't think about him anymore after that.
no,
That's
you really don't. You're like, oh, well, it's too bad for that guy. Which brought up a question when I first saw this movie was like, how do you know that all of these people are going to wake up in time from whatever drugs you pump them full of, Murder trials, all those people that are stuck in there. So we get past the bucket part, and that's when everything starts. So the murder, like the next one is the chain hangers. And so that's when you learn that one of the girls is a pickpocket.
Mhm.
And she stole some girl's purse who also had her asthma inhaler in there. And instead of being a good person, because the girl started having an asthma attack after being robbed, she just let the girl fucking die instead of bringing back the asthma
Which
inhaler.
just bring back her fucking inhaler.
Yeah, just bring it back, but she didn't. And so the idea is that they all have the chains from the first room still around their neck that is bringing them into the next room. And they start going up and up and up until they will be hanged to death if she doesn't take the syringe of whatever the
So
antidote
she's
is.
poisoned, right? They
They're
poisoned
all
her.
poisoned. Mm,
Okay. And
no, she's poisoned. No, it's just her. So she needs to pick one that's the antidote. And the answer is how much money she stole from that girl. And she knows that, but she refuses to pick one. So the guy next to her is like, you pick one or I'm stabbing you with both of them. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to die up here. And so she refuses to pick. He stabs her with both. She dies.
she's
But
got the acid, like the acid in
yeah,
her veins, right? And it just
yep.
like, oh, it's awful.
It's so nasty. But I was with him because like she knew what it was.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't pick. And he's like, all right, well, I'm just stabbing you with both. because the answer was right in front of her face. It was how much money you managed to get off this girl, which was like $7.13 or some shit like that. So
something insignificant.
Something really insignificant. So once that's done, the chains like release him because he just decides he's like, I'm not playing this game. If you're not gonna pick a syringe, then I'm picking both and whatever. Like,
period. Stop fucking around.
Right, we're all stuck here, bitch. Just do it. And if you know what the answer is, even if you don't, you still need to pick. Like, or we're all going to death here.
But then she let this asthmatic girl die. So does she really give a shit about other human lives?
Clearly not. She was a pickpocket and probably a drug addict, which is, Jigsaw's favorite mode of victim. It's
Bro.
He loves a good drug addict.
Oh my god!
Because that's gonna help them get clean after. It's not gonna make them want to do more drugs if they get out of here.
I literally hate him.
Yeah, I hate him so much. And so chain hangers, once that's done, they're released from the neck ones, and they go into this next room that's got like a TV. And it's kind of a twofer trap. So you've got leg wires and grain silo that go together. So
leg wires.
Yeah.
Fucked with me.
Yeah, okay. It was awful. So the idea is like he's like, you can't leave this room if you try to get out, blah 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 blah. But so tall whatever guy is like, fuck that, I'm gonna try to get out. The moment he walks onto this like wood platform to try to get out, he immediately falls through the floor and his foot is gripped, or his whole leg is gripped by like sharp wires that are just tightening and tightening and tightening. And the only way that he can get out of there is to agree to have his leg cut off.
Yeah, he has to pull this lever that's gonna cheek, and
he said, but he doesn't say that's what's gonna happen, because in the tape he's like, it'll release the string, it'll release your leg, but it doesn't tell him how it's gonna release his leg.
Yeah, but we can just assume. My thing in that moment, I would have loved for him to pull this lever and be so sure he was gonna lose his fucking leg and then just not. I would have loved to do that.
Yeah, I think he thought it was gonna let him go, and it was the other way, and he lost his leg. And then the grain silo is going on at the same time of that. These two walk into a room. The silo starts filling with grain. And the idea is that they have to. I can't remember what it was.
Okay, I
hated this trap, so I never
really. Yeah, this thing's filling with grain, so they're like, we're gonna die in here if you don't like
cut your leg off. Yes.
Yeah. So it's filling up with grain, right? Up to like fucking here, and then it stops, and you're like, okay, and then literal weapons.
Knives, sharp objects,
the knife to the shoulder.
I thought this trap was so dumb, but it was all hinged on guys stuck in leg wires on whether or not they were going to get out, because he needed to suck it up and pull the lever no matter what happened for them to get out of there. So those two go together. But I thought the grain silo was just so fucking like, John, did you have a seizure that day? Like, because this trap is so stupid.
I mean,
everything else.
There's only so many fucking ideas.
But you've got butcher knives falling from the ceiling. Like, I can look with my eyes and dodge some shit. Like,
right. They would have, I feel like they would have suffocated.
They would have suffocated first, but they get out of that.
The pieces of his leg just flying.
Yeah, so he gets left behind basically in that room because his leg's been cut off. There's nothing else he can really do, but the tape made it clear he'd be fine there. Like, whatever. There's no more gas or bombs, but like he can't advance forward. So the next one is actually one of the fun ones for me, is the cycle trap, which is like this huge like tornado funnel thing, which is built for the kid that's there that sold John's nephew.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, sold John's nephew a faulty motorcycle that had no brakes. And
this one I get. You know what I mean? I get this one.
Yeah, I get this one. He sold the kid a bike with no brakes and he died. So that's what you get.
But no, I get it. I condone it. I'd be pissed too if I was John. I don't know that I would go through these lengths, but like, I'm punishing everybody. You're going to get some fucking punishment. My thing is, though, this boy didn't test the bike at all.
Right. You didn't test it before you just started going 80 on the highway. I would have made sure something was working. Yeah.
I'm going to test drive this motorcycle. This boy doesn't look trustworthy. I'm going to test drive it.
He's trying to get rid of it fast, and he's not telling you shit about it. Like, I need to know.
Okay,
so it's a giant upside down funnel that has got razor blades everywhere inside, and he is suspended by his leg on a string and has to
wait. Also, when he takes out his little tape recorder,
Yeah.
and he plays it or whatever. He was standing like how would John know he was gonna stand in this exact spot?
Because he was just standing there and then gets yoked the fuck up like
Yeah.
Yosemite Sam shit or like Wile E. Coyote stuff in like a cartoon. Like, I don't know how you got that. But basically, he has to get down in this funnel and stay as still as he can so he doesn't get shredded by the sides to pull the brake lever at the bottom because the brakes on the motorcycle didn't work. So now you've got to stop this. And the whole contraption is being run by a motorcycle wheel that'll just keep making it spin faster and faster and faster. And this is one of the only times I've seen in a Saw movie where another person is like, I'm going to help this person, because girl gets up there with like a pipe and like jams it into the motorcycle because she sees how the mechanism works so he can get down there to hit the brakes. So she tries to help him, but his dumb fucking ass celebrates too early.
Instead of just doing the thing. Like, obviously this is a temporary solution. Do you hear the bike still coming?
Yeah, it's still whirring. She managed to get it to stop for a second, but he celebrated too early, and because of that, he gets shredded to fucking bits. Yeah. And I'm like, kudos to her for trying to help him, but again, just like a man, to take kudos for some shit he didn't even finish. Like, you didn't do what you were supposed to do. And here we are.
And you got shredded. Sorry, not sorry.
It's crazy. And then so on the other side of all of this, you're having the same type of bodies show up around the city in the current day because someone is redoing this, but they don't know who. But it's only showing you the flashback of what the traps were, not what the future ones look like, which is totally fine. But it kind of goes into what the last couple things are. So we've got the shotgun keys, which is the very last trap, because you find the girl survives, and you can see that whoever John was watching the whole time, and drug guy who got his leg cut off out there as well. The one you find out is in there because she suffocated her baby.
Right. She had a little postpartum stress going on.
Yeah, postpartum stress. She suffocated her baby and blamed it on her husband and said that he had rolled onto her while she
killed himself.
He killed himself because
she's a bad person.
Yeah, she's a bad person. And the only reason John knows this is because she was his neighbor. So he knows that she did it. The reason the guy who got his leg cut off is in there is because he was drunk driving with friends and killed somebody when he was younger.
So, admittedly, all of these things are very bad and problematic.
Yeah, but do you want to go through this much effort to teach someone a lesson? He does. I don't. But shotgun keys is really interesting because that's when you first see John interact with people while they're in a trap. So he's going on his like monologue-y speech about like, this is your salvation. He doesn't really understand how. He's like, this is, or like the keys or whatever. He doesn't do that, but their legs are chained to the walls. He sets the shotgun in the middle of the room and tells them to make a choice. They think the choice is that they have to kill each other, or
he
one of them
literally holds up the shotgun shell and what did they say, like, this is the key to your salvation?
Yeah, the key to your
salvation. Literally.
Yep. And puts it in the shotgun, sets shotgun down, fucking leaves. And these two start duking it out. Old girl goes to shoot guy, gun backfires, shoots her in the face. He finds out that the key was in the shotgun shell, but now the key's destroyed, so he can't get out either because none of them listened.
Fucking sucks.
Yeah. I thought that was some fucked up shit. It's like, you have laughed in my face, literally, because you've been watching the whole time.
I think it's so good. I think it's honestly, it's like one of my favorite things. I know everybody's about all the traps and whatever, but at this point I've had enough. But that
was I like how simple that one was. That one was literally, this is the key. And you didn't listen. And that's what the guy who got his leg cut off, he was like, wait, like, let's think about this. And she was like, nah.
She said,
and then
now.
blew her own face off. So, which, to be honest, don't feel that bad about it. You made your husband kill himself because you couldn't take responsibility for your actions. That's pretty fucked up. Yeah, that guy was a kid when he killed someone in a drunk driving accident. Did he deserve to die there like that? Probably not. But
no, but she did.
Yeah, definitely. And then so I did like that nuance of it, and John being really involved, and like that's how you know he's kind of like always watching what's going on. But then that teaches you what's really going on in the current day, because now we've got the laser collars, and you learn that the guy in the first part of the bucket head trap that didn't wake up from the anesthesia, John didn't let him die. He was like, that's not fair. He saved his life and nursed him back to health because he was watching the trap the whole time. When he realized he didn't wake up, he bursts into the room and like grabs him and like turns the shit off and like saves his life. Because this nurse is the only reason the nurse is in here is because he fucked up putting the names on the brain tumor scan for John that could have saved him from his cancer earlier. But he realized that's just like an honest clerical mistake that fucking happens to people sometimes.
You just
but
think
it's
like it's just so hit or miss what he's willing to accept and not.
Yeah, well, you're willing to kill people for, but then you change your mind at the last minute and you're like, it was an honest mistake. And so that's how you learn this guy is also an apprentice, and like the modern day traps is him. So the laser collars is him, and what the corrupt cop, I would say, just a cop, might have been a corrupt one. And it makes it look like they're both stuck in the trap together. So it's got these lasers, and they have to like confess their sins, and it turns out that cop is really bad, corrupt, whatever, and the lasers will eventually shred their faces by pointing inwards or whatever. So it seems like the guy is about to die first, but he doesn't. He gets out because it was a setup. Surprise. And so he's explaining to the cop while he's there. You learn that he's an apprentice. You learn that John saved him in the first traps or whatever and nursed him back to health, and now he's got to kill him. And then you get to watch this man get turned into the oh no. Oh God. You good?
What's happening?
John Kramer's ghost. But you get to watch a grown man get turned into the Demogorgon on TV.
Essentially.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know. You guys have like enough. You're in Florida. I don't know. There's a hurricane over there. But, okay. But yeah, so that apprentice set that cop up because he was like corrupt. You get to watch him get his face lasered into 8 different pieces, and he's a
pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a really cool trap. I did like it, and I like how he played up his end to make it seem like he was really about to die.
Yeah, but also like, how much money did that fucking cost?
Right, like where'd you get these lasers, bro? Right. That cut through human flesh and bones and shit.
I'm just saying.
And nobody noticed. I would have been like, what do you need these for, sir, that you're purchasing this many? like
literally, he had to have gotten them from the black market, because the black market is an actual place, right? Like you just go to it's probably in LA, because LA is evil.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, so that was cool and interesting. But yeah,
what number in the franchise is Jigsaw?
It's not set. I don't even know, because it's Jigsaw, and then the next one that comes out after that is Spiral. So yeah, because before this was Saw 3D, I believe.
Okay, we didn't watch that. So this is the last Saw movie that was made before.
Yeah, before Spiral. Yes.
Oh, we've come full circle. I think that's a great place to stop.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Spiral is good. I can't wait to see 10, but I'm going to take a brief break from Saw movies before I go see that.
I'm not.
But John Kramer.
Sorry, John.
John's back in that one, so that makes me happy. And yeah, but yeah, no, this one overall, I liked it. It was very twisty turny. You didn't really know where it was going, but it was also very matter of fact. It was like, do this or die. It was very like old school John, like do this or die. That's pretty much what you get. The battery in your light die or something?
I have no idea. Okay, that's fine. I think that means that we should stop.
Absolutely.
The light said.
But overall thoughts, yeah, it may have not been other people's favorites, but I think it's really quintessential John when it's like the decision is looking you right in the face and you just need to make it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think it sucks that it's not, that people didn't like it. Hopefully when the next one comes out, it like redeems itself with the Saw people. But you're a super fan and you like it, so I feel like it's probably one of those situations where
I think I like it more because it was a better execution of the group trap sort of idea, but like not so much that the group is dependent on each other, but like it's a real choice whether or not you want to all try to make this through together or not. And
I thought it was interesting that it wasn't like the last one where like you know, it was very clear
that you all have to make it through to survive.
Yeah.
Like, it was more like trust, don't trust, I don't give a shit. But like you're all here. So
yeah, so I think it'll be interesting to see where the next one takes it. But Yeah, I need a long break for that.
I
I'll
feel
watch
it.
it when it comes out on streaming, and
Mhm.
probably not right away.
Yeah, I'm probably not. Yeah, I don't think it's a theater watch for me. I'm gonna watch it at home kind of
Yeah,
situation.
I need to be comforted while
Yeah.
I watch these.
Exactly.
Because I'm a gore girl. It's just that I don't know. These are like it's not like super happy fun gore. You know what I mean?
No, some of it is, I mean, like, I will always go back to saying that the first one, even if they had not made it a franchise, I would have still loved the first one and only the first one for
The
what it was.
first one's good and it's a good time and it's very like especially for when it came out, it was
It was very different.
revolutionary. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so different, and like I love the lore behind it and all that. And if they had left it as a standalone, that would
Yeah.
have been perfectly okay. But since I had seen the first one and then watched the second one, I kind of just kept watching them because I'm like, there's a new one, you
And
know?
it's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes like it's really okay to not make 10.
Right. Yeah, it is okay to not make 10. Like we could have done without the last one with Saw 5 without the group traps. Saw 3D, I actually really like that one because it's Saw 7, but it's not, you can watch it 3D or not 3D. But that one, like, he saves nobody. Like the guy who's supposed to save everyone from the traps, he saves absolutely not a single person. So
The
that's a different
zombie
take
one.
on, yeah.
Yeah.
And like that was a different take on like a whole franchise because usually everyone gets out, but in that one, it's like the guy who did the most wrong is the one who lives. He managed to save no one who didn't. And so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's Saw, everybody.
Yeah. John Kramer is a psycho with a fucked up moral compass and needs to leave drug addicts alone. Like, I don't
Right.
know.
He's a shitty old man who needs to mind his business.
Yeah,
Amen.
and a therapist.
He needs
Prison time.
he needs a team.
Yeah, he needs a team and he needs to be placed under the prison and don't give him access to tools because he'll fuck something up.
For
I
the
don't know.
internet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, in the meantime, for other movies that aren't Saw related, you can find this podcast on the interwebs at ghostinthemagazine.site or on Twitter at GITM Podcast. You can find me on Twitter at witchxpudding.
I'm on Twitter at Sadee B.
Okay, bye.
Bye.